Ooh, hello everybody! Welcome back to another television review vlog. Well, it's actually not another, but actually the very first one, because, like I said before, I'm trying to shake things up, but actually try to keep up more of a consistent basis here. And I figured once a week, maybe I will put out a TV show review series, pretty much dedicating an entire review on a particular season altogether. And for this particular case, I'm just gonna review my very first one would have to be something I have never really watched before, and if you ever noticed by the title already, I'm talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender. This series has really just gone over my head over the years, because I've heard about this cartoon series. I've never really gotten around to watching it. I don't have any certain disdain or hatred or anything like that. I just never really cared for it. I've heard people talking about it, how the show was, how great it was, as well as how the show ends, and also the live action movie, which I guess I will be taking a look at that at some point. But yeah, but for now, I want to talk about the cartoon series, or more specifically season 1, because for those of you who don't know, the show is basically a fantasy world where a lot of people gain these certain elemental powers, whether it be fire, water, earth, or air, to use to their advantages when it comes to use a combination of like martial arts, ki, and the way they call bending to their these elements to their will in order for them to serve their purpose, in order to gain the upper hand, use them for battles, use them to help people, or whatever else in between. And in one particular case, there's a chosen one once every generation who's called the Avatar, who is basically their version of the Dalai Lama, where he would live for once in every generation, dies, and gets resurrected into a brand new body of some kind. It's quite an interesting take now that I saw the whole layout and background for it. So, how does the show hold up, even after nearly 20 years? Well, I gotta say, it's actually pretty good, to be honest with you. I did like a lot of the characters. Everything was so genuine, so pure when it came to a lot of the discoveries of like how this character Aang became frozen in the wasteland for relatively 100 years, only to come back to see his entire world being torn apart by this whole war that everybody's being ravaged by the Fire Nation, which are a group of evil baddies throughout the entire series. And along the way, he gets some assistance from a couple of Eskimos who I genuinely like, as well as his little pet Abba as well, or the flying bison. And I gotta say that it's actually quite entertaining at times watching these characters go on this very big journey in order to help out the Avatar, in order to master all 4 elements, in order to combat and defeat the Fire Nation altogether, which is basically the premise. So throughout season 1, they jump around from place to place throughout this world, giving you a much better idea how this world expands, how it plays out, and how it pretty much flushes itself out into making in this world how great and journeyous it can be. But at the same time, it can be very treacherous. Aside from the Fire Nation, who are the main villains, you got your fair share of ravaged creatures, rebels and bandits, and of course a variety of other things that would throw these heroes off the beaten path. And I gotta say though, they only show a lot about this stuff, but they don't show a whole lot, which is fine, because this series lasted for 3 seasons and they had a lot to show for it. Mostly like elements of how to bend fire, how to bend earth, or showing these people other side characters for one episode, how they bend their abilities, so Aang can get a better idea when he chooses to bend all of these powers all together. Throughout the entire series of season 1, Aang and his crew pretty much have to go through from the South Pole to the North Pole in order to get to the Water Nation so he can master water bending. And along the way, a lot of treacherous traps, and of course the villains as well, that pretty much throw one of the biggest villains of this entire season 1 would have to be Prince Zuko and his uncle Iroh. Prince Zuko is voiced by Donnie Basco, or Dante Basco, I forget which one it is. He's pretty much the exiled prince who is trying his best to capture the Avatar in order to gain favor for his father and actually gain the respect again. Try as he might, he keeps screwing up and failing along the way, just like every other cliche villain, which leads him to the point of being banished and exiled from his own people, along with his uncle. As for the episodes themselves, I did like a lot of stuff that were, as for the animation and the style that goes along with it, it's actually quite enjoyable how they pretty much present a good fluid of motions and hand gestures, and how they use how they mastered the style of martial arts as they bend the different elements to their will, which I thought was really great. The episodes themselves were quite memorable for the most part, and I didn't have a lot of complaints with a lot of them, aside from one episode in particular where they had to go across this desert valley with two people who were feuding with each other. And it turns out that Aang just lied about their past, about how they feuded to begin with, and it was like, oh, whatever. And I thought that was pretty much one of the weakest episodes out of the whole bunch. But overall, they did a really good job focusing on a lot of different elements of the different worlds that they explore and travel to, as well as the big two-part battle scene near the end of the season 1, which I thought was great as hell, and how everything just builds up for this great climax into season 2. I thought it was actually quite great. So overall, Avatar is a great series, great style of animation, great voice actors to carry on these characters, and just an overall great experience to this fantasy world. My only biggest regret is that I should have watched this a very, very long time ago when I had the chance, but hey, better late than never. So with that said, I would have to give Avatar The Last Airbender Season 1 a really strong 4.5 out of 5 stars. Really great, really entertaining. And with that said, I will be taking a look at more of these seasons as the weeks go on, and as long as COVID is still around. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. This is just a new, nice little shake-up from the ordinary. But more importantly, what did you guys think about the Avatar Season 1? Let me know in the comment section below. And of course, if you guys like what you see, feel free to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and all that other fun junk, which you can find right here. As well as, if you want to support me financially, hit me up on Patreon for the low price of $1 a month. So, with that said, thank you very much, and feel free to click on these other videos if you like to, right here. And I will see you all next time.